Tonight, on Closer Look, the body of a woman discovered at a rest stop on Highway 7 near Rockwood, Ontario in 2005 has been identified after 20 years as a woman who went missing in British Columbia. Isabel Buckmaster from Guelph Today has been doing some fantastic reporting on this story and joins us tonight from Guelph with the latest. Isabel, earlier this year you wrote a very powerful story about a roadside memorial in Rockwood, a small community between Guelph and Halton Hills. Can we start from the beginning? Who was the memorial set up for?
The memorial was initially set up for a Jane Doe that was found at that rest stop by, the body wasn't found, but the memorial was set up by the Rockwood Knights of Columbus in 2008, just as kind of as a placeholder for this woman. Essentially, we didn't know who she was. We knew she was between the ages of 25, 40. She was found under a sleeping bag. Foul play was suspected, and that was about it.
Now, at some point, a man from Acton named Keith Porty took it upon himself to take on the job of maintaining the memorial. What do you think motivated him to do that?
I mean, Keith is a really special guy. He was initially at the memorial when it was installed in 2008. And then when the call for assistance was renewed by the OPP, he decided to go back down and take a look at it. I believe it was 2018, 2019. And at the time, he was really disappointed by how sad the memorial looked at the time. He felt like it looked a little forgotten, and he really wanted to make sure it became... He was hoping it was a bit of a placeholder so that she wouldn't be forgotten.
Now, your original feature story was published back in February, but later on this year, there was a major break in the case. What did the police discover?
So the police figured out who she was. Her name is Tammy Eileen Penner. She was in her early 40s. And she's from Abbotsford or Chilliwack, BC. She originally went missing in February 2005, and they, through some cool technology, managed to find her.
And how did police finally figure out Jane Doe's identity, Isabel, after so many years?
So I believe they used it was some kind of investigative genealogy technology. So they were essentially able to take her DNA from the remains that they had and match it up through their national database, which is how they ended up finding her in BC.
Now, let's get back to Keith Porty for a second. What was his reaction to the news? He must have been shocked.
That is probably my favorite phone call that I've done in a long time. He was blown away because for Keith, the mystery was never necessarily about who did it. He wanted to know who she was, and he wanted to make sure that her family found her. And I think for him, it wasn't even just about the fact that he found out who she was. He's been in contact with the family who have thanked him and who basically said that his efforts did exactly what he wanted them to do. And I think that really meant something to him.
Now, I understand the police investigation remains open. Are they any closer to figuring out how Tammy Penner ended up in that community?
As far as I know, there's been no update. They do still believe that it was foul play. But there's, and they believe that the person that when she was coming from BC to Ontario, she was likely with someone she knew and someone who likely knows what happened to her. Who that person is, what happened to her, we still don't know.
All right, Guelph Today reporter Isabel Buckmaster with tonight's Closer Look.